Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join me for an abridged, dearly departed preview show because in this crazy season, the schedule is a little bit out of whack. So we've got a couple of games to talk about. So this may be a slightly shorter video than normal, but nonetheless, we have our duty to do here. You can see there's only a few badges up there. Sheffield United, Villa and Fulham. Before we go any further, let's just say thank you to Jay, though. Jay is our fan sponsor, dearly departed, also known as Ben. Couldn't bear to lose us. You too can get involved and be a fan sponsor over on Patreon if you want to go and sign up over there. So, we're in an international break, essentially, but there's been postponements prior to this international break, and the Premier League have tried to do a bit of catching up, but obviously with certain clubs and COVID at the moment, it's a little chaotic, let's just say. Here are the midweek fixtures, and we've got a few dearly departed issues. Obviously at the top there, Sheffield United versus Newcastle United. We'll cover that in just a sec, and we'll be doing that as a watch along on the channel tonight. Come join me about 5:45 for that one. Burnley, Manchester United, Wolves, Everton and Manchester City, Brighton will also take place. Two of them tonight and one tomorrow night. Then you can see that Villa Spurs was due to happen. That has been cancelled, but they've then taken the Tottenham Fulham game, which was cancelled a couple of weeks ago, and popped it in its place because it's Villa who have the COVID issues, not Spurs. Okay? So, let's have a look at that first indeed. The Premier League match between Villa and Spurs has been postponed, it's been confirmed. Villa were forced to play their last game against Liverpool in the Cup without any first-team players after a coronavirus outbreak at their Bodymore Heath training complex. The game went ahead with Liverpool running out victors on Friday night, but Wednesday's Premier League fixture hasn't been so fortunate. Spurs will instead play Fulham, which we'll talk about in a minute. A game already postponed after the Cottagers' own coronavirus outbreak. It's all over the show, this, isn't it? So, Villa, who were already a couple of games behind, we'll look in the table, are going to go a further game behind here because the scheduled game against Tottenham is not happening. But that does mean that the Premier League have stepped in to allow Spurs versus Fulham to take place. You can see there, Villa on 15 games, only Manchester City also on 15 games. Obviously, they are due to play each other, but Manchester City will go on to 16. Burnley there are also going to play. So Villa are now looking at a pretty condensed end of season. They're obviously going to play more games than anybody else. We wonder whether the season will go past the final day. But if it doesn't, they'll be playing more games in the same time span as everybody else. Anyway, Spurs versus Fulham is a dearly departed game, which has got the go-ahead. So Spurs, you can see up there in 4th position. Fulham down in 18th. However, we have sensed a bit of an uptrend in Fulham's form. The story has been Scott Parker ditching his Championship promotion team, basically forming a new one without any of his goalkeeper or back four or captain or top scorer in Mitrovic and Kearney. But they've been far more competitive, but they haven't been winning. So if you look, lots of draws there. Liverpool, Brighton, Newcastle and Southampton. And I'm sure every Fulham fan would have swapped a draw against Liverpool, lose to Liverpool but beat Brighton. And that gap would have been lovely and tight, wouldn't it? Well, there wouldn't have been a gap. It would have been 13 points apiece. So just wins so scarce at the bottom there. Reading upwards, look, Sheffield United 0, West Brom 1, Fulham and Brighton 2. And that's in sort of 17 and 15 games before Burnley double up with a mighty 4 wins. Obviously, look at the top of the table. You've got 10 wins. And even our dearly departed Villa on 8 wins. So just nobody's winning down the bottom there. Very low tide and exacerbated by Sheffield United, who we'll talk about in a minute. Spurs, well, they hadn't been in good form, had they, until they defeated Leeds in one of our dearly departed games, 3-0 last time out. Kane and Son back to their brilliant best. But prior to that, it had been 4 games without a victory, a draw at Palace and a draw at Wolves, a home defeat to Leicester and an away defeat to Liverpool. 2 points in 4 for Jose, and a drop down into 4th position, 4 points off the top of the table. However, have a game in hand on Leicester and a game in hand on Liverpool. But those, do the math, are the 2 teams they lost to. So, as ever when we're discussing Spurs, really, it's often a case of, are Kane and Son going to both play well on the same day, in which case everybody loses. What about the matchup of styles between Jose and Scott Parker? Remember, Parker had been quite ponderous and very possession-based in the Championship. He looks like he's coached them to be more able to sit in now with the back 3 and Bobby Reid kind of doing 2 jobs down the right-hand side. A bit more pace with Lookman and Cavaliero doing the work up front. Obviously, Bobby Reid goes into that. So there's been a bit of a change there. So I wonder whether it might be a bit of a passive game, this one. I don't suppose there'll be many people suspecting a Fulham victory, but they've been competitive, although a draw would be the 5th consecutive draw for Fulham. Difficult one for me to call in a positive way with my dearly departed hat on. And having seen how Kane and Son played against Leeds, I'm afraid let's go for a Tottenham victory in this one. But it'd be interesting to see how the rest has affected Fulham. They have not played since a 0-0 draw with Southampton on Boxing Day. I'll go for a Tottenham win, but there is a chance Fulham could get a point out of this one. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. Next up, we're going to do this as a watch-along tonight, is Sheffield United versus Newcastle United. I mean, what can we say about Sheffield United that we haven't said before? Well, we can say that they've won a game. They beat Bristol Rovers 3-2 in the FA Cup. Confidence building. I mean, if it was a nice 4-0 win, there'd be more confidence. Obviously, they were pegged back twice by Bristol Rovers and did have the ball in the net twice as well and disallowed twice. So, more frustrating afternoon. They would have wanted just a nice, clean 3-4-0 win, wouldn't they, Sheffield United, as a confidence builder? I don't know. Do they get anything out of that? We will see. But, yeah, 17 games, 2 draws, 15 defeats. We do the maths every time. We're nearly up to the halfway mark. So, if for example, Sheffield United only draw 1 more point in the first half of the season, then obviously that'll only be 3 points and they'll be projecting a 6-point season, which would be horrendous. But that's what happens if you don't win any games. That total goes up exponentially with a couple of wins from somewhere. Can this be the day? We have our fingers crossed for our Blades fans, but they'll have ex-manager Steve Bruce and Newcastle in the way. The last 5 for Newcastle, no victories, draws in their home games, but defeats away at Leeds and at Manchester City, and a home defeat to Leicester as well. Only 1 goal in the last 3 games as well. Newcastle are not playing well, are they? And I hate to say it, and I hope I'm wrong, because we're going to do it as a watch-along. This game has the air of 2 sides who are both going to be falling over each other to not win it, if you know what I mean. So I hope we don't get a turgid affair. I hope they do go for it. Look, with my ever optimistic hat on, I've got to predict the Sheffield United win because they're at home against 15th position. And I don't get too many more close run things in the table with Sheffield United at the moment. So let's make the prediction again that Sheffield United can go ahead, build on the confidence of the FA Cup win and get their first victory of the season. Am I speaking more in hope than expectation? You tell me, and you get your views down there in the comments. And that's it. Only the 2 games this midweek. Thank you again to Jay, dearly departed, also known as Ben Couldn't Bear to Losers. Jay Coyle is our fan sponsor. Thank you so much. Lots of great stuff over on Patreon. Patreon exclusive stuff. Pretty much every day, every second day. We do Q&As that are Patreon exclusive. I do roundups of my predictions, normally in short form, but hey, that'll be a very short video in this one today, but well worth going and supporting, I think. Get some extra content or a warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart if you just go for the $3 tier, which is really, really helpful in me getting closer to my ambition to do this part-time or full-time. With all of that being said, get your comments in, get your predictions in for these couple of dearly departed games, and we'll be back with what we hope is a full round at the weekend, but I dare say more cancellations will be on their way as the vaccine hopefully starts to have an effect over the coming, next couple of months. We cross our fingers for that. That was our dearly departed preview. Bit of a different one. I've still managed to ramble for 11 minutes. So see you tonight for the watch along if you are that way inclined. And it's a big over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.